Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the 2020 Class Act Scholars graduation ceremony. Welcome scholars, family members, friends, center directors, and other guests to this important celebration. We are glad you have joined us. Years ago, we dreamed of a world that would elevate, celebrate, and support early childhood educators in our community. The work you do is very important, and I don't think you're told that often enough. Early childhood is where the building blocks of success are put in place, and you are the ones who form those blocks from your hands and your hearts. Thank you for what you do for our children. When we first dreamed up this idea, we wanted to challenge a select group of early childhood educators every year to be their very best, to share their ideas and learn from each other. The class model is the technical, research-based framework for the program, but the magic comes from you. As you learn and question and laugh and cry together, you make each other better. You make this program more special than we could have ever imagined. As we begin this evening, I want to thank our sponsors who directly supported Class Act Scholars this year: PNC Foundation, GAR Foundation, and the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation. We would also like to thank those who support many of our other efforts in early childhood education: the Akron Community Foundation, United Way of Summit County, GPD Group Employees Foundation, and the Mary S. and David C. Corbin Foundation. Thanks also to our course instructor, Laura McFalls, and our class facilitator, Judy Seipel. I will now turn the program over to Laura DeCola, our Director of Strategic Initiatives and Policy at Summit Education Initiative, who will share a little bit more about Cohort 3, their experiences and their successes. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Good evening, everyone. I too would like to extend my warmest congratulations and welcome to each of our graduating scholars, your family and friends, directors and funders who have walked alongside you on your journey this year. So Matt gave us the big picture overview of the program. Let's take a few moments now to dive a little deeper and share a little bit more to showcase what this fabulous group of educators accomplished this year. As you know, a key purpose of the program is to strengthen, support, and empower preschool teachers through coaching and other resources that will enable you to be the best that you can be. And you all did this, indeed you did, by committing 20 hours of in-person course sessions, sometimes giving up your Saturdays, and certainly your 3 hours at the end of a long work day. You met from 5:30 in the evening to 8:30 at night after a long day in the classroom. And you participated in coaching, observation, feedback sessions, and you shared your wisdom with each other through informal group dialogue and then your own self-reflection and homework experiences. You did this with grace and follow through, all while juggling your day jobs, your family obligations, in some cases military obligations, and a little thing called a global pandemic. A few of you even managed to earn your CDA or continue your college education during the course of this year. We thank you all for your commitment and dedication. Your hard work has paid off. When we asked you all to share some details about how the Class Act Scholars experiences affected your professional practice, all of you, each and every one of you, said that it positively impacted the quality of your classroom practices and it enhanced your professional knowledge and thinking. And a whopping 80% of you said that this impact was significant. So here's a few examples in your own words. You've been seeing some of the quotes scrolling through on our pre-program, but I want to share a few from the words of our scholars. One scholar said, "This experience made me aware that every interaction with a student is an opportunity for learning. I now use every interaction as a learning experience." Another said, I am a different teacher. I go with the flow more, and I allow my students to take the lead on many things. Yet another said, conversations with the children have become more rich. And one said, that was kind of reflective of a number of you. It's kind of clear that there was a common theme, no more crisscross applesauce. But one captured this theme by saying, one change I made as a result of the program was so simple. Instead of making the kids sit in a small group, I let a few who preferred to stand. And guess what? They stayed engaged at learning. So those are just a very few examples of small and large successes that this program has brought about. But I would say that the investment in yourself goes far beyond you and by extension, the children and families that you serve. Each and every one of you have shared tips, learnings, and strategies with your coworkers, your directors, your teachers' aides, and others at your center. In this way, you have become culture carriers for your profession. And finally, one of the most important goals of this program was to connect preschool teachers from diverse learning centers and diverse educational experiences to bring them together to build relationships, deepen knowledge, and learn from each other. These connections happened at every turn, but this year we added a new formal peer sharing component to the start of each class session. Each and every one of you rated this part of the program as very valuable, and many of you stated that connecting with your peers, whether it was formally or informally, was the favorite part of the program. So the words of one scholar captured what many of you said. My favorite part was not just expanding on how to be a better and more focused teacher, but hearing new ideas and strategies and strengths from my peers. And sometimes just having the shoulders to lean on when dealing with classroom or administrative successes. Now, more than ever, the importance of connecting with one another cannot be understated. We hope you continue to remain engaged with one another and with our ongoing opportunities to stay connected, not only to those in your class, but with the others who came before you and who will come after you. You are part of a growing group of alumni ambassadors who serve as shining reminders to our community about the vital role early educators play in setting our children up for success in school and in life, and how essential you are to the growth, success, and prosperity of Summit County. It is clear your successes run deep, but enough words from me. To truly understand what this program means from the view of a scholar, I would now like to introduce your class representative, Deb Decker. Deb is a preschool teacher at Barberton City School District's preschool and was elected by her peers, all of you, to share her reflections today. Please welcome Deb Decker.
Good evening, scholars. Wow, look what we did. We're here at our graduation, and I can't believe we did it. I tell my kiddos that they can do hard things. You know, when they say, I can't write my name, I can't rhyme, I can't read, and it's too hard, it's too hard. And I always reply with, well, you can do hard things. And then we go about the business of learning to do that hard thing. And they begin to say it, they hear it so much. They begin to say it to each other. They begin to say it to me, to their families at home. And all of a sudden, all of us remember that we can do hard things. One hard thing we do is teach. It's not the planning or the implementing or the behavior or the million meetings, even though those are all hard. It's the loving of a student for 9 months out of a school year. You're with that student every single day. You develop a relationship, you love them, and then we have to tell them goodbye. Sometimes it's goodbye for summer. Those kiddos are coming back. Sometimes it's kind of goodbye forever. You know that they're moving on to their next building, their next grade, and you won't see them in the halls. You won't see them unless you happen to run into them at the store. So really, it's a real goodbye, and those are the hardest things in education. Another hard thing we do is we make ourselves better. We strive to learn to be better teachers, better planners, better listeners, and all around better people. That's how we all ended up here together. I want to take this moment to thank SCI, Judy Seipel, Laura DeCola, and our instructor, Laura McFalls. It's a hard thing to stand up here and teach teachers. We talk a lot. We wiggle in our seats. We forget our homework. Thank you for putting up with us, and thank you, Judy, for feeding us and keeping us on track and always making sure we knew what we were supposed to be doing. More importantly, thank you for providing us those opportunities for peer sharing. Peer sharing was one of my favorite parts of coming to class. I loved hearing what other teachers were struggling with and listening to all of us share our work with each other. Another hard thing we do is we invite people into our classroom to watch us and tell us what we could do better. That's nerve-wracking and scary, but we do it and then we utilize the feedback. That is hard. James Comer said, no significant learning can occur without significant relationships. As teachers, we make those relationships with our students so that we can teach them. We know this, it's in our heart. But we also need those same kind of relationships with our coworkers, other teachers, and the teachers who teach us. The relationships we have made in this room have made me a better, stronger, and more positive teacher in person. And I hope that at some point during this class that someone, me or someone else, said something that gave that to you too. Peer sharing taught me to reflect on my practices, not only to see if something I do can help someone else, but to see if something they're doing can help me do better. This is a really hard job, no matter where you teach, what age, and if we're teaching during a pandemic or not, as you can see from my classroom that's behind us here at my house. Talk about hard things. We can do hard things too. Maya Angelou said, I think a hero is any person really intent on making this a better place for all people. If we change that to all children, then we all leave here as heroes. And I definitely look at my Class X Scholar cohort as heroes as we leave this graduation today. And now I would like to introduce our class instructor, Laura McFalls. She'll be delivering her remarks at this time.
Good evening and welcome, scholars, families, and guests. First, I'd like to thank some special thanks to SEI and our funders who continue to invest in our field of early childhood education. It has meant so much to me to be a part of this phenomenal initiative, and I'm excited to be here for our third graduation, which brings me to you, scholars. Congratulations. Tonight's the night you've been working hard for this entire year. And again, I just wanted you to know that I've enjoyed our time together. I got so much from visiting you and seeing you in your classrooms, working with your children. You will always mean a lot to me. This class is definitely a unique group, not just because of the spring that we spent together, literally living through a pandemic, but because of the people you are and what you've brought to our group and to our cohort. And I want you to know that I've loved collaborating with you, sharing ideas with you, and you have continued to inspire me. I always get emotional, but I hope that you will more now than ever remember how influential relationships are. I think not just because of the coursework that we spent together talking about the value and importance of relationships, making sure children feel safe and loved and nurtured, but I think we've learned this spring just how important that is for the children we serve, the families we serve, and not just for building their education future, but for creating citizens for our community that will lead us on to what's next. I hope also you've really figured out how essential you are. I hope you know, I've always felt you were essential and our work is so essential to our community. But now again, more than ever, I hope you realize how important your work is. I also want to make sure you remember to keep it going. Our time together may have ended, and our classroom time may have ended, but our work can continue. I don't want you to forget about the wonderful online resources you have access to through the TeachStone website. Also, please keep up with your Facebook conversations. This cohort has done a phenomenal job of collaborating and talking and sharing and inspiring and sharing activities and ideas with each other. So I really hope you continue that. I think another thing we've learned through the spring is how important reaching out to each other is through social media and through the internet. So keep it going. I know that also many of you have created very special friendships, and I hope that you continue to continue that collaboration with your fellow scholars. Keep sharing those resources with each other. We need it. And I wanted to finish by also thanking Judy Seipel for facilitating the peer sharing piece of our work together this year. I know it's been mentioned before by Deb, but it has really elevated the work we've done together this year. And so it is my pleasure now to introduce our Early Childhood Network facilitator, Judy Seipel. And congratulations, scholars. I'm proud of you.
Good evening, scholars. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your class journey over the last 9 months. I came into your program as an assistant that handled the operations of class. However, as time moved on, I was asked to step into a deeper role and began leading the peer sharing sessions and 2 Zoom chat sessions. I am grateful for this expanded role, and I appreciate your support and encouragement. If you remember, during our last official class session, I asked for your tears, fears, and cheers to discuss during peer sharing. It was a moving experience, and I appreciated your candor. So tonight, I thought I would flip the switch, and I would share my tears, fears, and cheers about you. My tears are of joy that I was able to learn more about each of you through the class sessions, our offline conversations, our text messages, our phone calls, and lots of emails, and even our Zoom chat sessions. I saw your hearts and your dedication to your students. Even through the adversity you each faced over the past several months, you remained committed to your class and each of your students' needs. There is no doubt in my mind that you will continue to do so because it is who you are. Each of you are compassionate, dedicated, and willing to go the extra mile. What a gift this is. My fear is that some of you may not fully understand your impact in the early childhood arena. You each play a huge role in the growth and development of our youngest learners. And I hope that you realize how important your daily interactions are in forming critical links in a child's social emotional competence and future academic success. Never doubt your value. You are an important building block to each of your students' future endeavors. Finally, my cheers. Well, this is an easy one. A huge congratulations to each of you. You did it, and you should feel proud of this accomplishment. I know that our team is proud of everyone in Cohort 3. Now it is time for the main event of our ceremony, the honoring and recognition of our Class Act Scholar Cohort 3 graduates. I will say each of your names as your photo appears on the screen. Dion Bishop, representing Head Start Portage Path. Rochelle Brantley, representing the Growing Patch. Melissa Brown, representing Kids Country. Deb Decker, representing Barberton City Preschool. Katie DeSmith, representing Green Developmental Early Childhood Program. Detillian Felding, representing A Beautiful Child. Tara Gillespie, representing Cascade Village YMCA. Danielle Hale, representing Fairlawn Lutheran Preschool. Christina Isabella, representing Bethany Enrichment Center YMCA. Tracy Lanier, representing Grandma's Place. Katie Leichhardt, representing Bethel Preschool and Childcare. Marsha McCartney, representing Summit County ESC Preschool, Coventry. Emily Myers, representing Head Start, Portage Path. Anne Ryman, representing the Nest Early Learning Center. Natalie Relgen, representing Stewart Primary School. Leslie Schnerning, representing Johnson's Corners Preschool. Joan Thompson, representing Summit County ESC at Newberry. Lavanya Varner, representing YMCA Hope Early Care and Education Center. Ryan Whitsett, representing Head Start Barberton. Lanicia Wood, representing Lois Lester's Learning Center. Congratulations, scholars. Virtual hugs to each of you on this amazing accomplishment. And now for tonight's closing remarks. First, we would like to thank all of the directors who had class scholars in cohort 3. We appreciate all the dedication that you each gave in ensuring that your scholar was given the time and resources needed to complete the program. As you know, we would like to honor each of you with a gift card from Lakeshore Learning. Please be looking for this gift card in your mail in the near future. We also want to again thank all the work that the team at SEI has put into making this program such a success. We are grateful for everyone's contributions. It takes a team to deliver quality programming, and SEI is fortunate to have a dedicated, hardworking team. We are excited that our Class Act Scholars program will continue with cohort 4. Please be looking for information regarding this application process sometime this summer and share it with your colleagues. Finally, it has been a wonderful year of learning and growing for one another. Scholars, we hope that the knowledge, coaching, and peer support you receive will help you to grow as educators in your individual classrooms. We wish you continued success both professionally and personally, and we thank you for allowing us to be part of such an amazing group of educators. Remember that as a Class Act Scholar, you are part of a group of alumni who can continue to connect and build a community of educators that shares resources and experiences. Take care, everyone, and thank you again for joining us. Good night.